Boy, am I getting a lot of questions about this. I'm getting DMs about this and emails about this. A lot of you guys are very concerned about this, even though I have done at least 3 other videos where I showed you exactly how to not be worried about these things by doing the proper research before you make assumptions and before you get worried. But apparently some of those didn't click with some of you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about whether or not Dubai is still a good place to live in terms of the 9% corporate tax and in terms of the big scary Houthi missiles. Oh boy, let's all be scared. Actually, you have no reason to be scared. I am Caleb Jones, and this is Sovereign CEO, and I teach people just like you how to set up location-independent businesses, move to a less bad country like Dubai, and or set up an international backup plan and do all these things for very little money. Now, as I have said repeatedly on several past videos and some past blog articles and a few other things, when you see something scary on the internet, you need to read several articles about it and dig into the data deeply before you get scared and make scary assumptions. If you run around like a maniac quoting a scary headline because you saw a scary headline of an article that you didn't read, or a very brief article that is a one-page clickbaity article that is designed to scare you and not give you all the facts, or a really scary Reddit post or something like that, then you're just being irrational and you're just being silly and you don't want to live life like that, do you? Also, when you discover negative information, you want to ask yourself the question, what am I comparing it to? This is a question that most people don't ask, and when you ask this question, all of a sudden, it allays all of your fears. As I've said, I have been discussing these two concepts with you, with my audience, repeatedly for many years, and some of you still aren't getting it because some of you just, I don't know, want to be scared about things. I'm not sure what this is, this need to be scared that has infected men over the past 10 to 15 years, but apparently some of you have it, so I am here to help yet again, and hopefully this video will put you over the edge when I discuss the actual facts, and when you learn the actual facts, you don't need to be scared. It's kind of nice. Before I get into those facts, you should subscribe to this channel, you should leave a like on this video, and leave a comment on this video. Doesn't matter what you say, even if you disagree with me. The more interactivity I get for the algorithm, the more of this content I will provide for you for free. So let's talk first about this big, scary 9% corporate tax that the UAE, Dubai has enacted or announced. It actually doesn't kick in until the summer of 2023. And a lot of you are very scared about this. Well, Caleb, aren't you nervous that you have to pay this 9% tax now? Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of why you moved to Dubai? Aren't you terrified? Maybe I shouldn't move to Dubai now because they have this 9% tax. Okay, let me give you the facts that you aren't aware of because you didn't look into this enough. You just saw a scary article or a scary post, read 2 or 3 sentences, and then ran around like your hair was on fire on the internet. So let me give you the facts. Fact number 1. If your corporation is set up in a Dubai-free zone, the 9% corporate tax doesn't apply. Okay? So the UAE is a country with many cities, several different emirates, several different locations, and this corporate tax applies to them. But in Dubai, Dubai being a unique city, an international friendly city, they have things called free zones, where if you set up the corporation in a free zone, it is exempt or most likely will be exempt from this tax and other future taxes because Dubai, as I've talked about many times, wants to be an international hub of business and wants to be an international player. They don't want to alienate all the money that is pouring into Dubai from various corporations and various rich people all over the world. Dubai has approximately 40 of these free zones. And if you follow my advice and come to Dubai and set up a corporation, you will be setting up the corporation inside one of these free zones. Otherwise, I don't recommend you set up a corporation at all. Matter of fact, if you want detail on how to do that, you can get the course Get Residency at getresidency.io. I show you specifically how to get legal residency and set up a corporation in Dubai, in the UAE, in addition to Panama, Paraguay, and Armenia. You can check that out. Now, one quick aside I just realized. I am not trying to sell you on moving to Dubai. There are many of you in my audience who would be miserable if you lived in Dubai. You would hate Dubai. You should not move to Dubai. I think you should visit Dubai, but you should not move there. So I'm not saying you should move to Dubai. I'm just giving you the facts and trying to teach you how to get the facts before you freak out. Now, there's another percentage of you in my audience who would be very happy to relocate to Dubai, especially those of you with higher incomes or those of you who already have location-dependent businesses. Come to Dubai and, in many cases, you'll be paying zero taxes legally. Kind of nice. If not zero, then a single-digit percentage point to live in one of the most high-tech, cleanest, lowest crime, friendly cities in the world. Kind of a good deal. So again, I'm not trying to sell you on Dubai. That is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to train you to think a little differently when you encounter negative stuff on the internet. Fact number 2, regarding this 9% corporate tax, that applies to domestic corporations selling things to other people inside the UAE. If you have an international corporation where you sell 100% of your stuff to people outside of the UAE, it is largely or completely unaffected by this corporate tax. It is not affected at all. So yes, if you live in Abu Dhabi, not Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and you set up a store in Abu Dhabi selling to people in Abu Dhabi, then yeah, you won't be in a free zone and you'll be selling to other Emiratis. So as of June of next year, you're going to have to pay a 9% tax. Does that apply to you as a sovereign CEO, location-dependent person with an Alpha 2.0 business? No, it doesn't. Doesn't apply at all. No big deal. Fact number 3 regarding this corporate tax, many residents of Dubai who own Dubai corporations don't actually use those corporations. They just use corporations in other countries and derive income from those corporations. So they live in Dubai, but they have true location-independent income that comes to them from outside of Dubai. It doesn't go through a Dubai corporation. Therefore, they don't pay a 9% corporate tax. I have corporations all over the world, and I can, within 30 days, switch my entire business operations from one corporation to another corporation in a different country at a different bank if I ever need to. I've done that on purpose. So I don't need to in Dubai, I'm okay, but if down the road Dubai decides to enact a horrible tax that I can't get around, all I do is I snap my fingers, I move my money somewhere else, and it's not a big deal. I maintain my Dubai corporation, I maintain those fees and those filings and those things like that to make sure I'm still a resident, but I'm not locked into it. That's what being location independent means. Location independent means you are not affected by the negative laws of the country where you live. That's what Alpha 2.0 and Sovereign CEO is all about. So now hopefully you can take a deep breath and relax about this 9% corporate tax that doesn't affect me and won't affect you if you ever move to Dubai as a location independent Westerner. And again, I'm not saying you need to. A lot of you shouldn't move to Dubai, but some of you should. Depends on you. All right. Let us now switch gears and let's talk about the scary, scary missile attacks that happened in January of this year that scared a lot of you. I would like to remind you that many people in the West have a skewed view of what danger and crime actually is based on the facts and the statistics. I've used the example before of people who live in Chicago who say, I would never move to South America. South America's dangerous. It's more dangerous in Chicago than it is in most of South America. Yet these people stay in Chicago thinking they're safer than living in South America when in fact they aren't. In other words, these people are either stupid or they are hyper irrational. They don't know how to think clearly. So when you see a country where a few people die in some kind of attack and that scares you, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what am I comparing it to? If you are familiar with my Alpha Male 2.0 non-monogamy content, you already know where I'm going with this. You can't just look at one thing and make an objective analysis based on that one thing without comparing it to your current circumstances. If you live in the United States, have you had any major terrorist attacks in the last 10, 20 years or so? I seem to recall a terrorist attack just a while ago, a few years ago, where thousands of people died. Before that, hundreds of people died in various bombings of marathons, local government buildings like in Oklahoma, where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people died, and then thousands of people died in a certain terrorist attack that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, right? So, now you may say, but wait a minute, I'm not an American, I don't live in the United States. All right, if you live in the UK or France, because I've had several of you from the UK, France, United States be worried about these Houthi attacks. If you live in the UK or France, have you had any, bombings where hundreds of people have died over time, over the past several years? Yes, you have. Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people have died via multiple bombings, terrorist attacks, various other terrorist-related incidents in your countries. So, was there a missile attack in the UAE? Not Dubai, it was in Abu Dhabi, which is an entirely different city than Dubai. I don't live in Abu Dhabi, I live in Dubai. But yes, was there a missile attack, a small, teeny, pussy missile attack in January of this year in Abu Dhabi? Yes. How many people died in that attack? Would you care to take a guess? Because most of you asking this question probably didn't look this up. Was it 1,000 people? Did 1,000 people die in that attack? How about 700? 700 people? Surely 400 people died, right? 200 people? 90 people? 50 people? No, 3. 3 people. 3 people. So, if you live in a typical Western country where hundreds or thousands of people have died over time from terrorist attacks or missile attacks or what have you, and you look at the UAE where 3 people died in a city I don't even live in, and that worries you, you are literally behaving in an insane fashion. You are literally acting insane. You're not looking at the facts and you're not basing it on any real comparison. You're just being irrational. And I'm not saying that to insult you or be an asshole, even though I am an asshole. I'm not saying that to piss you off. Again, I'm trying, in many cases unsuccessfully, but I'm trying to get you to assimilate information you see on the internet in an objective, rational way so that you don't get scared and that you don't ask really stupid questions like, Caleb, aren't you worried about 3 people who died in Abu Dhabi, even though I live in the United States where thousands of people? No, I'm not scared, and you shouldn't be either. Now, if thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the UAE were dying from missile attacks, different story. I'd be on your side, and you know what I would do? You know what I would do if that happened? What would I do? It's one word, it starts with the letter M. It's called move. I would move. I'm location dependent. It's not a big deal. So even if there was a problem, which there isn't, once again, these problems don't really affect me because I'm location independent. We go back to that every time. Location independence means you are protected, for the most part, from all the usual problems that most normal beta males and normal alpha male 1.0s have to worry about for the rest of their lives. So if you don't like Dubai, don't move there. You won't like it. If you like Dubai, Dubai is still good. Dubai is still on the rise, unlike America, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Dubai is going to do very, very well over the next decade or two with problems. Every country has their problems. Every country has things I don't like. I've already done a video about that. But you get my point. So hopefully, the next time you see a scary headline or read a very brief one-page article, you will do some extra research and look into that scary thing in more detail before getting scared about it or jumping the gun and making stupid statements about it. Or you will compare it to what you are currently doing, your current conditions, and see if they're actually worse or a lot better. I have far less odds of dying in any kind of missile attack or terror attack living in the United Arab Emirates than you do living in most Western countries. And that's a fact. And if you don't believe that fact, again, be objective and rational and go look up the actual numbers. I think you'll be surprised. If you want more detail on why I chose to Dubai when I could have moved to any country in the world pretty much, you can watch this video right here where I go through all the reasons and all the objections and many of the objections. It might be educational for you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Have fun. Bye.